So I'm going to focus on three things, right? I'm going to explain what I mean by 3D analytics, right? Second, we're going to take a look at what we send from a model's interactions on the client. We'll take a look at what's actually being sent and how it lands in ClickHouse. And then the last thing I'll do is I'm going to show you the dashboards we built based on the data. Every analytics project has a story to tell, right? And ours is no different. You know, when we first did a proof of concept, we wanted it up really quick. So what we did was we took every event and we just slammed it into S3. Every event was a file. You know, we had a C# app, you know, and it was a C# app because the guy who was building it knew Microsoft and he wanted to use C#. You know, and then that app wrote the aggregation tables into RDS, into Postgres, right? But it got us up quick and it got us a chance to see the data. And once you took a look and see the data, we knew we had a story to tell, okay? So the first thing we did after that was we had to get rid of, you know, S3. And so we took and dropped the events directly into a raw events table into RDS. We still use the C# app, and that became our next bottleneck. So we replaced that app with DBT, and that improved our processing and our throughput. But we're using, you know, AWS RDS, and it became a choke point. And we were really surprised at how quickly it was. And so it was one of those things, you're a small company and you're working, you got to make a change quick. So one of my engineers in India said, you know, we should take a look at ClickHouse and see how we should do this. And so we grabbed the open source version, put it up into an EC2 instance in AWS, tried it out, you know, and once we had it up, we were sitting there going, we don't want to maintain this. We're going to move cloud. And so that's how we got into cloud. So we ended up with a true analytics DB. We modified DBT and migrated the data, and we saved money and to boot. All right, so that's our story. Now we're going to start with this demo. This is one of our demos. It's a motorcycle demo. I'll show you, and with this, I'll hopefully show you and get you to understand what we're collecting and why we're collecting it when we're interacting with a 3D model. All right, but this is where we're going to spend most of our time. This is one of my clients. They make bows, and they're actually in Utah, in Salt Lake City. And if you watch the Olympics, did anybody see the archery in the Olympics? The American finished second? Okay. Half the competitors in the Olympics use these guys' competition bows, right? They are really popular out there. It's a high value product, right? With a high price point. And it's highly configurable. And for what we're doing, you're not going to use this to sell a light bulb or sell a pencil. You really got to focus on those high-end products. Okay, so that's it. Now I get to jump in and we'll start showing you what we're doing. As promised, here's the motorcycle demo. Now, if you think about analytics and you think about Google Analytics, you think about Pendo, you think about your favorite clickstream analytics, you look at this page and you say, what can I track? I can track all the controls. I can track the amount of time that is spent on the site. I can track all that stuff. This is really great. But I can't track what's happening in this canvas. Can't see it, right? I can't tell that the guy opened, you know, a hotspot and saw this. You know, I can see that he spent, you know, three and a half minutes here. What did he do? Right? Oh, well, you know, he changed the handlebars, changed the seat type. He likes leather. I always like red, you know, and if you're going to do wheels, I'm going to do the Triforks, right? I'll leave the decal, leave it white. Got to have the performance exhaust, and then you got to take a look at it, right? See what it looks like there. You know, as much as I like storage, the bike looks a hell of a lot better without it. All right. And so, you know, that's what I call 3D analytics. That's what the problem we were trying to solve is, you know, what's happening in that canvas and how does it relate? So now we'll move, and we're up here on Hoyt. You can buy this bow as is. It's black on black, black strings and the whole bit. And it's one of their most popular items. It's that RXA. Okay. The way they have this site set up, you can go down, they have info, and you can look and see, different types of bows, what you might wanna configure. So next thing you do is you go, what's the riser color? And that's over here. Now I've been playing with this, and I really like this one, right? And so now, you can do the limb colors, you can do black, or you can set that up. Now, if you notice, over here, I've got the network, console open, and I'm filtering on events, okay? And so when an event comes, what you're seeing, here's a set value, and it's showing me that this is what we did, right? God, I'm getting old, my eyes are getting bad, right? And so you can see, that every time we're doing it, and then not only that, if I move the bow, right, I get another event, take a look at that, and it tells me, we've had a camera rotate, so I'm trying to keep track of everything that would happen in the events. So if you think about it, I'm going to have everything so that if I picked this particular user and this particular session, I could replay it, right? I could walk all the way back through and replay it. Okay, now, you got to be a little careful. If I'm doing a rotate or a zoom or anything, I'm not tracking every pixel. Tell me where it started, tell me where it stopped, right? And that'll tell me, and that tells me where I'm going. So I'm right-handed. I'm gonna choose the middle bow weight, and I'll turn that off just to give myself a thing. The draw weight, I'm just gonna go in the middle. But what happens is, we found that we started doing a little predictive with the data, just, playing with it a little bit. And what we found was if somebody actually set the string color to something that wasn't black, right, wasn't the default, they were more likely to finish the bow and actually, click on, go to dealer, right? So it's just real interesting. I know there's some interesting possibilities with this data as it comes flying through. Okay. And I'm hiccuping, burping. Live TV.
Is it the first set? Black streaks and hit.
Baby needs new shoes. We're going to do this. Okay. We're going to go back to the beginning. Start there. Kick off. Set the riser color. I'll pick something else. Just kind of whip through this. String color. I like green, right? That's just me. It's either orange, red, or green. But I like green. And you can kind of see it there against the background, right? I'm still right-handed. I'll set the draw length. I'll set the draw weight, right? I'll choose the quiver, and I'll just pick one. Going to turn the bow around here, and we'll set it to wilderness again. Now I can do front stabilizers. I'm going to choose none. I can do rear stabilizers. I'm going to choose none. Okay, arrow rest. I'll just do the regular Hoyt arrow rest. It just showed up down there. Okay, and if I move the bow, and you can see it right there. Okay, bow stand. I'm going to do a bow stand just because I can. And, we'll come away and I'll show you why I did that later. The bow sight. This is an interesting one. So if you put this thing on here, this is a serious piece of equipment. You're putting on a bow. And I just made my costs go pretty darn high. So as much as I want it, the answer is no. And if you look, I'm still sending the events that are telling me, we had that bow, it was on, I turned it off. Okay, so finally, we go over here. I've completed my bow. Okay, now something else just happened down here, and this is kind of interesting. We see this custom event that popped through, and what it tells me is we've completed a bow, and we did this RX8. This is a custom event that the customer, that Hoyt, actually put in. They put it in, they're firing it to us, we're capturing it and using it. Okay, so that's, that adds value to what we're doing. Now, I don't give anybody my email address, right? And so I'm going to say no, but I will download the spec sheet, right? And so let's go see if I can find that spec sheet. There it is. I've got it. There's some value that I'm giving to the customer. Now, what we found since we delivered this to our customer, people come in with a printout of their bows and they walk into the dealer and go, this is what I want, right? And it makes it. And the other thing that we found is that they'll go through with the dealer and they'll configure it together, right? You're a dealer. You're not going to carry every possible combination of these bows. You're not going to do that. So you're going to carry a few. It's easy when somebody comes in and says, this is exactly what I want. This is what I'm going to pay. Okay. Other things that we've got. We can pop this thing up in AR. That's why I put a stand on it. You could get your phone up, you can scan it, and you can sit it down next to you, and you can see what it looks like on the floor. Okay? And we always, other things that you can do, click on the dealer. This is an important one. So if I go back over and look what they told us, if I look at the events, got another custom event. But this is telling us we've had what I call as a soft conversion. It's a conversion event. They didn't actually buy, but they clicked on something we wanted them to do, right? They clicked on the dealer, right? So you can see how this stuff works with a real customer model. Now I'm going to jump over, right? And I'm going to close the dealer thing. Jump into ClickHouse. And this is going to be a little cheesy. These are really lightweight selects, right? I'm not stressing ClickHouse at all, right? All I'm doing is I've picked a couple of sessions that are interesting, right? Oh, that's fun. Got to grab the S bill. Come on, man. It's all about. So it's interesting to see here's 42 raw events that were tied to that session, right? And if I look, I see a whole bunch of custom events, right? And so I'm going to drop over here and look at the properties on some of the custom events, see if I can see them. Okay, you can see that they generated a snapshot. They took a photo and, of the image, and then they completed it. They gave us an email address, right? So they did something that I wouldn't do. Right? That giving an email address, we consider that a soft conversion. Then they signed up for the newsletter. They checked the flag that says, I want the newsletter. So they not only gave the email address, but they got the newsletter as well. Okay? And we consider that another soft conversion event. Now, we run a job that takes that data and aggregates it up. And so now here's the row representing all that data. You can see there was 42 events. We know that it was an iOS mobile Safari user, so they were using an iPhone, right? We have, the date and times. We see that they had 3D interactions, configuration interactions, and also 3D interactions. And the interesting thing at the very end is we call this an analytics piece, but what it's showing you is this is exactly what they configured. This is exactly what they configured, and this is what they ended with. Now you can get it out of the, Google Analytics pages by looking at, all the controls, or you can take it from us. Okay. Now I'm going to show one other query, This is a different customer, and this one's just a little bit interesting. And I got the S this time, so I'm doing no. I got the pound. I got it on the end. Come on, Bill. Drive. So when I'm looking at this one, there's 103 events, right? Now, we can dig in, but what I found was there's really only 2 custom events. The custom event that says I've started creating a bow and I finished. Then you see a whole bunch of camera rotates, camera zooms, maybe setting a value, I'm changing something and really trying. This person was really going over the bow. They were looking at it. They didn't buy. In my mind, that's an interesting customer to tag and go see later, right? So, so that's how this stuff works. Now, I'm going to switch over. I'm in our system, and we start out with analytics. We always look at the last week, right? And you can see I'm in Hoyt Archery. So I'm going to click back down here. Now, the first thing I do is I like to see some things that are definitely over a week. So I go back to August 1st, and I come back into today, and I take a look and see what was going on. This is fun. That's interesting. So something's going on there. I'm going to investigate that tomorrow. I went to October. There is nothing in October. I can't be in the future. So August 1st, September 5th. This will be better. Okay. All right. So we can look at things as visitors or sessions. Okay. We look at all visitors, people who configured, people who had 3D interactions, or people who had AR views. One of the things you'll notice about visitors, an average visitor comes back more than 2 times. So they're back to repeats. It's kind of interesting there. So you can see that, of all visitors, 74% of them configured. Another 74% had 3D interactions. Mostly everything's coming in on mobile, right? And then we look at engagement time. And we find that, if you configure, you do 3D interactions and you do AR views, you have more engagement as a user. Now you look at the sessions and it goes up even more, right? 3 minutes for all visitors. If you do AR, you're up over 7, right? Now, we also have conversions, because you saw those soft conversions, right? And so this is of the total number, or our percent. These are the numbers of people who configured. These are the number of soft conversions. And you can see the rate goes up, as you go to do 3D and you do AR. Okay. I'm going to jump all the way down to the last table. This is the all events table. If you look at it, it's the same. You see the soft conversions, but you see visitors with a model. These are people who started a model. Those are the custom events that the client sent, right? These are the visitors who completed. Visitors in AR, the emails I've captured, and so on, right? And so this is how we're using ClickHouse. So we talked over 3 things. Hope I proved to you that, 3D analytics is interesting and important, right? Showed you how it works, right? Show you how it works in ClickHouse, and then show you the dashboards that we built. Okay. So that's the story. Any questions? Yes.
This is synthetic data or is it real?
This is real live data. So we're using Vue on the front end, and we're using Chart.js, and then we're calling ClickHouse directly to aggregate this and pull it back, right? Look, compared to some of the people that are doing massive amounts of data in here, we're not doing massive amounts of data, but it's pretty damn interesting, and it's pretty, it's really helped us, talk to our clients or potential clients about what they're going to get when they get our product. It's not just going to be a pretty model. It's going to tell them what's going on.